whenever I hear that music, I'm like, I just can't sit still.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien. How are you?
Very, very good. You look beautiful.
Thank you.
You do look like a princess.
Thanks. It took a lot of people to make this happen. A
Well,
lot.
you're gonna be a princess, like forever now.
Yeah.
And how does that make you feel?
Amazing. It feels incredible to know that it's such a, a part of history, but also a part of a movement of empowered, women of color in positions of leadership. I think that's, if I thought about it too much, I'd probably break down in tears. So I'm just very, very happy to be just a little part of that story.
Well, not to put pressure on you, but there's gonna be a Disney princess, like a live version of you, acted out by other actresses here in the Orange County. Right? They're gonna be everywhere. Tokyo, Paris. I mean, it's just gonna be like
that's really exciting.
Latin takeover finally.
Yeah. We've all been waiting for it now.
What's different from this princess than any other princesses from your point of view?
Well, from my point of view, I think over the last few years, there's definitely been a push for, obviously, diversity, but also for images of women, especially young women, in positions of leadership. And so I think that's what makes a difference for me with Elena. There's no real love story. She's her own hero. And also she's Latina and she's the first one. So I think people will be really excited to hear the music and to just see like little touches of their own culture sprinkled throughout the storyline, which is really exciting.
That's true. Now you are going to become a role model, Princess Elena. Are you going to think of the little girls like dressing up as Princess Elena for like Halloween or their birthdays? Just thinking about that, what does that bring up for you right now? Oh,
well, it's a lot of emotion, because Disney has been in my family for a very long time. My uncle is an engineer for Disney. He's an Imagineer and lives in Orlando. I grew up in Miami. We were always at Disney World and Epcot and, MGM at the time. But, we were always going to the parks. And so for me, it's really exciting to know that, like, when I take my future kids there and they have sort of a similar experience, that they will also see someone that looks like them, and someone who has their skin color or somebody who shares in their culture. And I think that's very emotional, very exciting.
How many kids do you want to have?
I don't know. As many as I can afford, probably.
Right.
No.
That's like 10,000 kids.
No. Well, it was just the two of us growing up, me and my brother, so two seems like a very good number to me because that's just the experience I have, so.
Do you wish you had a Princess Elena growing up?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the princesses that I most identified with growing up were the ones who had, confidence and were bold and were sort of in taking charge of their own story and their own narrative. And so I definitely had princesses to identify with, but this is even more special because now I can say, oh, her grandma sounds like my grandma. Or, she dances to merengue at a family party just like I do, So it's just another point of connection. But I think the storyline is very universal.
What touches you here and what helps you create the voice of Elena?
That's a good question. I'll tell you what I can't be thinking about, which is what an honor it is to do, because then it's so much pressure. So I think I just focus on who is this girl, stripped of anything else, like stripped of the princess title, stripped of all of the things that are endowed to a royal person. I think she's just 16, and I've been 16. She's trying to figure out who she is, what she likes, what her place in the world is, and I think that everybody kind of goes through that. So, and I also think one thing that really touches me is that she lost her parents, and that's very that's very upsetting to me, but my parents are still alive, thankfully. But just to think of someone who, in a lot of ways, is going to miss out on that, like her mom's not going to watch her get married, or her dad's not going to walk her down the aisle, or whatever, That, to me, is like the heart of Elena, someone who has lost a lot in her life, but is still always willing to do her best and try again and have a positive attitude. So I think that's who she is.
I'll take charge like the leader I know I can be, and take care of all those who are counting on me.
Though you know I hold you in the highest esteem. There's more to good leadership than it may seem.
I think what I bring to this character is a couple of, hopefully many things, but one of the things that is always very present to me is the immigrant narrative. You know, my grandparents came to this country, you know, just like a lot of people did, and didn't have a lot, and sort of redid their lives over again, you know, in a new place without speaking the language. And so that's something that's never too far from my mind, you know, in anything I do, whether it's Elena or Young and Hungry or anything else. I think about how hard somebody worked so that I can have choices and options. And I think that, you know, circling back to Elena, that's something her parents did too. I mean, the ultimate sacrifice. They gave their lives so that their children can have options later on. And so I think I bring that to Elena. I also think I bring just sort of, I have a naive quality about me as far as this business goes and the voiceover world goes, because I've never done a voiceover before, so I'm pretty inexperienced in that capacity. And I think Elena is also inexperienced because she's 16 and all of a sudden she's thrust into this leadership role. So I think those are two things off the top of my head.